As leaders, our job is to influence behaviors, right? It's to pull people up to greatness, give them feedback and encouragement, and develop tomorrow's leaders. Part of our job is also knowing when to let go. Look, if you take an organization, right, and you divide the talent pool into categories. You have your A, B, and C players. Your A players are your top performers. Your B players are your average players and performers. And your C players are your, below average performers. And typically it's, you got about 10% that are your A players. You got about 80% that are your B players. And unfortunately, you got about 10% that are your C players. And if you're wondering, how do I identify those? They usually identify themselves pretty easily. And a really good measurement is, what happens? What do they do when the leader or the business owner is absent from the workplace? When you're off on vacation or you're attending another business, your A players, they keep the ship moving like this, right? Everything's going this way. They're working on new ideas. They're innovative, and you come back and they share those new ideas. Your B players, they're typically about status quo, right? They keep everything going, same direction, same speed. And your C players, when you're absent, they're usually absent too. But here's the thing. Most leaders will fall into this trap of spending all their time with the C players, right? Because as leaders, that's what we want to do. We want to rescue them, right? We want to save them. We want to pull them up to greatness. We want to at least make them a B player. And the problem with spending too much time on your C players, especially the ones that, make no improvement, that do not make any movement towards being a B player, is when you're doing that and you're not spending the necessary time with your A players, and you're not giving them feedback, and you're not listening to their ideas, they're going to move on to greener pastures. They're going to go somewhere and spend time with someone who will listen. Your B players, a good portion of them, hey, look, your B players, they're watching. They're looking at where you're spending your time. And a good portion of them, if they see you spending all your time here with the C players, they just may gravitate over to being a C player, just to be heard, just to spend the time with you. Listen, know when to let go. All right? That's part of leadership. Spend your time with your A players. Give them the time that they need. Listen to those great ideas and use them to pull those B players up to A players. We'll see you next week.